Hey y'all, I am back. Welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite TV shows. So make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of what we're discussing. I know I've been gone for a minute, but now I am back. I looked at, I think the last review I actually did was the first episode of season 2 of Never Ever Met. I think that might have been in March or April. I don't even remember. Anyway, today I came to talk to y'all about Tyler Perry's Divorce Sistas. Now I think today was the finale episode. I think it was like 7 or 8 episodes. If there's another episode, I'll follow up with that review next week. But I'm pretty sure that was the season finale that aired tonight. So I don't have the energy or the time or the capacity to be doing episode by episode. I didn't already watch all the episodes. I don't want to go back and rewatch them and do 8 reviews. Like I would, but I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Okay. But yeah, quick life catch up. And for those who are interested, y'all know I'm still in this doctorate program. So year 1 is down. A few more to go. We started chapter 1 of our dissertation, so that was cool. Over the summer, getting into the process of that. My topic for my dissertation will be about the experiences of Black women teachers teaching at PWI K through 12 schools. So I'm excited about that. Got a lot of interesting feedback from my professor. And yeah, we're just moving forward with that. But I got a break, so I don't even go back to school, or school doesn't start back for me till towards the end of August, I think the 25th or something like that. So then I will be back busy again. So I can't promise y'all videos, but I was like, you know what? Let me come back. It took me, actually, to be honest with y'all, it was really hard to come back. I almost just totally gave up because, I'm not monetized. I never was. YouTube is not the business that pays me. Y'all know I'm a teacher full time. So I was like, oh, I don't know if it's worth my time or energy. I kept saying I'm gonna do it once I got on summer break. Once summer, I got done teaching summer school. Once I was finished with my own school last week, I didn't feel like doing nothing. Child, I just watched TV and exercise, and that was it. Um, and then last night I was like, okay, let me go on and do Love and Marriage Huntsville. I rewatched it so I could do that. Couldn't do it. I didn't have the energy. I just couldn't do it. But you know what? Today I'm feeling better. I got the energy. I said, let me come back to the people. And I also wanted to be geared up for Ready to Love. So I figured if I start, dibbling, dabbling, sticking my toe back in type of thing, maybe I'll be ready for the time Ready to Love comes back. When the hell does Ready to Love come back? Let me know in the comments. When does I know it's August. I don't know if it's August 1st. I don't know if it's August 18th. I hope it's before I have school again. So I don't be too busy for it. Because I really wanted to finish Never Ever Met because season 2 was crazy, but I just couldn't. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the time. And then once I get done with homework, I don't have the energy for that. So oops, like I said, this program is no joke. I feel like I need more chapstick, but whatever. Let me know if I got crumbs on my face. I ate a bunch of chips before I got on this camera for some reason. I'll be eating. That's why I gotta work out. Anyway, like I said, if y'all don't want to hear all this, y'all can fast forward. But hey, y'all, I did miss y'all. I enjoyed watching everybody's reviews though. So shout out to all my fellow YouTubers who are still, doing their thing on YouTube. Make sure y'all support everybody's channel in some sort of way. I've been just enjoying everybody else's reviews, and even if I don't comment on it, I try to make sure I at least give y'all a like. Some people I do make the time to comment on. Sometimes I just don't have time to comment, but I be wanting to. But trust me, I'm watching everyone who has watched me, supported me. I'm watching y'all and I'm supporting y'all. Even if I'm not on YouTube, trust me, I'm watching y'all and I'm supporting everybody. Okay. So kudos to y'all for keeping it up. I just, when you're not paid to do it and you busy, it's hard to do it, right? So anyway, let's get into this review. So like I said, this is season 1 of Tyler Perry's Divorced Sisters. It was a brand new show. Now, this is the first Tyler Perry show that I have decided to review because, Tyler Perry, I respect and love what he has done as a business person, employed so many people. He's wonderful, billionaire, millionaire. This, last little scandal he had wasn't too fond of that. But besides that, we appreciate the work he does. But, some of it is good and some of it is not. And I just can't take the time to review foolishness and things that don't make sense. Now, I have been keeping up with Sisters. I got to watch this week's episode. How long is Karen gonna be having that? Now, Karen finally went into labor, but how long is she gonna be trying to push the babies out in the hospital? Let me know ahead of time. But that's why I can't review Sisters. But I said I'm gonna watch. At first, I didn't want to watch Divorced Sisters. I was like, oh, it's gonna be the same as Sisters, child. But I decided to watch it. It comes on BT Plus, so get y'all BT Plus subscription. They not paying me. But BT Plus to me is worth it because they have shows on there that I like. So whatever. But yeah. So I decided to give, like I said, give BT Sisters or Divorced Sisters, I'm sorry, a chance. And I don't know why I'm so close to the camera. Well, y'all know I can't see. Anywho, so yeah, I decided to watch it, and I watched all the episodes. Like I said, it was entertaining, and I like that they actually push the story along. Like we ain't lingering in the same story. Now there was some stuff they did draw out. This last episode was a couple scenes they could throw away, but overall it's a good show. Now I'm not gonna go episode by episode, and I'm not gonna go scene by scene by scene, but we'll just get into every character and put the stories together and do it like that and have a quick discussion and wrap it up. So anywho, let's see. Who do we start with? So basically the premise of the show is, these women, I think it's 5 of them, they're all divorced. So we got Rashida, she's the pastor's wife, played by LaToya Luckett. Now, LaToya Luckett is a good actress, okay? If y'all watched her on Greenleaf, she did her thing. So LaToya Luckett is a very good actress. I don't know her new last name. I know she got remarried, but as far as we know, she's still going by Lockett, whatever her last name is. Okay. Previously of Destiny's Child. And then we have Pastor Jefferson. Now I think they are co-pastors at the church, if I'm not mistaken. Jefferson is played by Devon Franklin. Okay. And he starts off being a big a-hole. Then his character kind of takes a change. We're not sure if we really buying that or not, but we're gonna see, what it's given. Anywho, and then I believe they have 2 kids. One of their kids, the son is the same son on Beyond the Gates. I don't know his name in real life. Beyond the Gates is good too. I know I ain't talked to y'all about Beyond the Gates in a long time. It's so much to catch up on. I don't know how I'm gonna catch up on that one with y'all. Maybe we'll have to do a little short or quick recap. I don't know, but Beyond the Gates is good. If y'all not watching Beyond the Gates, y'all need to watch Beyond the Gates. Anyway, so then we have Tiffany. She's divorced. She got to pay her husband spousal support or alimony or something. Child, her divorce did not go good for her. I forgot how much she said she got to pay a month. Child. Anyway, so all the girls are friends. Bridget, she wrestled with a young dude. He a loser. He like 30. I don't know how old she is. Maybe she in her 40s or something. But he living in her house, eating up all her food, playing the video games that she bought him, and it's just a hot mess. And this girl, it's like, girl, why you messing with this YN? Why you messing with him? His name is, girl, I don't even remember his name. What is his name? It's not Javon. There's a character named Javon. What was his name? Vaughn. I think his name was Vaughn. So anyway, now Bridget works for Rashida down to the church. She's like her secretary or something. Then we have Geneva. Now Geneva is played by Kadeem, who what's his name? The one that plays Zach on Sisters, DeVille. I don't want to mess up his name. Ellis, DeVal, I think is his name. DeVal Ellis from Sisters, and Zatima, he plays Zach. Kadeem is his wife in real life. So I didn't realize she was in the entertainment business as well. And once I seen her on the show, I was like, oh, let me look up and see what else she's been in. She's been in a few little things here and there. So it's cool to see her acting as well. So kudos to her. She's doing a great job. Great job. because she got everybody mad at her. So anyway, and then we got Naomi. Now Geneva's with William. William is played by Ron Rico Lee. He played Tyreek on Sister. He's been on some other things as well. And so anyway, um, and Geneva. Kadeem plays Geneva. Sorry, Geneva thinks that William is cheating on her, but meanwhile she's cheating on him. We're gonna get into it. And then we have Naomi. Naomi, I don't know who plays her, but anyway, Naomi just divorced her husband or got the divorce from her husband. Is it Franklin? And he is a hot, mean, vicious mess. And but she got like 37 million in the divorce, so she got a nice house or whatever. Now Geneva is Naomi's divorce attorney, right? Because Geneva is an attorney. So Geneva and William have a daughter named Nika, I think is her name. And so let me start with Bridget because she got the least going on. Bridget was dating that young dude Vaughn. Okay, he ain't got no job. He talking about he want to be a content creator, which is nice, but you still need to have a job that pays money. And so, the church is trying to raise money. So they had like a little gala, and she wasn't trying to take him to the gala. And then she had got him a job with this guy named Calvin. He said the job was too hard, too much for him. sorry. So then he was trying to go to the gala. He gonna take out a stanky tuxedo out the dirty clothes hamper and tell her to steam it so he can go to the event. Hey Tisha. So then he goes to the gala or whatever. And so he was like embarrassing Bridget, trying to talk about where the bar at. But mine used the church gala. Like my church, we have galas as well, not fundraising galas, just galas to celebrate like the anniversary of our church. And it's a big fancy to do. You wear your formal wear, okay, your nice formal dress, your heels, and it's really a party. We have like a comedian. They have music and dancing. They don't even play gospel music really like that. They be playing secular music. It'd be a good time, okay? But there'd be no alcohol. But it'd be at a hotel though. It is at a hotel, so you could sneak off to the bar if you wanted to. Now, last time at the gala, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, dang, how am I gonna get down to the bar? But I didn't want to get caught, so I didn't do it. Forgive me, Lord. But when I got home, I just made me a cocktail when I got home. That's what I did. So anywho, you don't want to be causing your brother to stumble and whatnot. So anywho, I was I miss talking to y'all. So yeah, so he ended up having to leave the gala because he was embarrassing everybody basically. So then the next day Calvin came over to Bridget's house looking for the keys, some kind of keys he's supposed to have. He didn't have them. Calvin went up to her room to get the keys from him. They got into a big old fight in Bridget's room. I wish somebody would fight in my bedroom, in my house, let alone. And Vaughn almost killed that man, but turns out Calvin kind of let him win because turns out, I think Tiffany said that, told Bridget, like, oh no, if Calvin, didn't win, he is because he let him because Calvin used to be a professional boxer. So Calvin really could have whooped his butt, but he didn't. So anyway, then the last thing we know about Vaughn is he had called Bridget talking about he was going to unalive himself. And then they made it seem like he did. And then the next episode, they realized that he didn't. And he was at his cousin's house hiding because Calvin looking for him to get him arrested. Okay. And Calvin wanted him some Bridget, but Bridget, she don't want a good, hardworking man. She want a young boy because he probably, putting it down. That's probably what it is. Anyway, moving on from them. That's pretty much all Bridget had going on. Pretty much. Now, let's talk about Pastor Franklin and Rashida and all that stuff. So when we first meet them, like their marriage really feel like it's on the rocks. Like they putting on for the church people. They ain't really. Pastor Franklin only tell Rashida he love her during the sermon, and that's it. Like she had a question: do you love me, Franklin? Do you do you love me like you say you do? And so he just wasn't really paying her no mind. He be skirting around the questions. And then they was trying to make us feel like his assistant Myron, or his right hand man, whatever he's supposed to be to him, and him was having an affair, right? They was trying to make us believe that, right? Because it was looking suspicious based. So at the gala, they were like arguing on the way to the gala, but then when they got down to the gala, they act like everything was cool. So then at the gala, Rashida had got up and she came back. Myron was in her seat. She was like, "Dang, did you drink my drink or what's going on?" And so then at the gala, it's a bunch of drama because Naomi, I'm just gonna tie it all in. I'm gonna tie it all in. So just follow me. You gotta watch the show too, okay? But if not, just watch me. So Naomi and Rashida are friends, right? Naomi wants to sue Franklin, and Geneva keep telling her, like, girl, you can't keep doing all these lawsuits. So I guess in the divorce, Naomi was supposed to turn over all this property, but she didn't. And Geneva kept telling her, girl, you got to, they're going to take this property. You have to turn it in. You lost it in a divorce. So when Naomi was getting ready for the gala, and her like glam team was there, the lawyers and whoever else came, I guess it was police or somebody came and got the stuff from Naomi's house that Franklin wanted back from the divorce. So some paintings and literally jewelry off her body, like earrings and a ring or something, and some other stuff. I think cars. I think all the cars, except for like a beat up car. Anyway, now all day when they planned for the gala, right? They kept asking Franklin, like, they was asking Jefferson, I'm sorry, is Franklin coming to the gala? Because then we can't have Naomi there, because then it's gonna be a hot mess if Naomi and Franklin are there together. But Jefferson would never give a straight answer. Now Jefferson wants Franklin to come because Franklin got the money, and Franklin is where the money resides. So he wants Franklin's money so they could build this new church. So he definitely want him at the gala, right? So Franklin left Naomi for a younger white girl. You know they do, y'all. And I believe they having a baby, or they had a baby. I don't know. Anyway, so Naomi was spiraling out about Franklin, trying to follow him on social media and all that. So Naomi had got drunk, but then she came to the gala after all. And we'll get more into Naomi too. So Naomi came to the gala drunk, and she sat at the table with everybody, and she needed coffee, so they had got her some hot coffee, right? And then Franklin had got up there to bid because they had like an auction at the gala because they're trying to raise money for the church. So Franklin had got up there to bid, and he was auctioning off. They're auctioning off those paintings. That now the paintings are paintings that Naomi's brother did, but Naomi's brother was on drugs or heroin or something like that, and he passed away. And so now the paintings are worth more, of course, because he passed away. And so he was trying to, underbid the paintings like $5, $10. Thank God Tiffany stepped up and she was like, I'm gonna bid $5,000. But then Franklin wasn't, going for that. So then he was like, let's bid $37 million, because that's what Naomi got from the divorce. And so he was doing that just to make Naomi mad and all that. So then they got Naomi out of there, but before she left, she poured hot coffee on the white girl. Now they deserved that. Or the white girl and Franklin deserved it. I'm going to just say that. Like, I'm not condoning violence in any kind of way over here, but the way they were taunting that lady, white lady that came in there, called her a dragon lady, and the girls had to come to Naomi's rescue and all that. So they are literally taunting this lady and playing in her face, like the way he talked about her brother and stuff and did the paintings. Like, all that was not necessary. Like, if you don't like this lady, why are you doing all that? And then the new wife sitting up there laughing and enjoying that. Like, what kind of woman are you? So that's all I said. Well, you kind of earned it. So anyway, oops. So Okay, white girl ended up having to go to the hospital because she got burned. So the cops, I think, came and got Naomi, so they had to go down to the jail, get her bailed out. We're gonna get to that. So Rashida, so going back to Rashida and excuse me, Jefferson. Um, so Jefferson was feeling like, okay, Rashida, like you don't need to be friends with this girl. He trying to get this money. He ain't thinking about nothing else but getting his money. And Rashida's like, did you see how he did her? Like, how dare you say that? So Franklin don't even like the fact that Rashida's friends with Naomi. He talking bad about her in front of Jefferson. Like it's all bad. So when they got home that night from the hospital, now mind you, Myron trying to ride with the pastor. He trying to make sure his burns get taken care of because pastor kind of got burned a little bit too in the crossfires. So anyway, so they get home, they arguing and stuff. And Pastor Jefferson did not open the door for Rashida to get out the car that night. So Rashida stayed in the car all night long. Now the next morning, the kids, because mind you, Rashida and Jefferson have a boy and a girl. Now the boy might be on drugs, okay, as we learned from this last episode. Well, he is on drugs. They're trying to give him the pee in the cup. Child, he down there assaulted Rashida in this last episode. So everybody on social media was like, she should have did him like Jackie Christie did. Chantel, I was like, y'all tried it. But anyway, so the next day, the kids was like, where mom at? She not in the guest room. Her side of the bed looked the same. Like she ain't laid there. Like, where's mom? Why Jefferson don't know, acting like he don't know where she at. Now, mind you, when they was getting ready for the gala, he whispering and talking to somebody on the phone in hush tones, like he can't have Rashida hearing him talking. I'm like, well, who are you talking to that Rashida can't hear it? So everybody is like, it's Pastor Jefferson. Is he gay? Him and Myron got something going on. That's what everybody was suspecting, right? That's what it was like, that's what it was given. That's what it's given. So, sorry, y'all, this talking got me thirsty. So, anyway, I'm telling you, YouTube take a lot of energy, okay? You definitely need to be monetized. So, anywho, so yeah. So then, like I said, next morning after the gala, after all the aftermath, the kids finally find Pastor Jeff act like he don't know where his wife is and he not looking for her. So then the kids come down like, Mom, why you slept in the car in your gown all night long? So she was like, don't you gotta catch the bus for school? She was like, go catch the bus. Like, get out my face and catch the bus. So then Jefferson came down. He was like, Rashida, like, it's an automatic doors, girl. It's electric. You could have just got out the car. Like, what's the problem? And so he felt like she's being childish. So then they arguing again. His phone rang. And so he had spoke to Myron on the phone before he left out the house. And then when he answered the phone out there, Rashida answered his phone. And Myron said, hey, babe, are you in the car now? Are you alone or something like that? But he said, babe. So then it was like, ooh. So then, all the saints, all the saints was mad on social media because they was like, oh, Pastor Devon Franklin is playing a gay character on TV, blah, 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 blah. Now, I never got mad. I was shocked if he would play a gay character, but I wasn't mad at it because it's acting. And there's people like that in real life who are, in the church and gay and pastors as well. Like, who cares? Jesus loves them all. So, also, the storyline didn't play out enough for me to say one way or another, right? So I was like, okay, y'all, let's see how the story goes, first of all. So anyway, then I think the next episode, Myron was apologizing because he tried to say that he was thought he was calling his wife Denise. So mind you, Myron married, allegedly. So no, he's supposed to be married on the show. Whatever. Okay. So he said he thought he was talking to his wife. He's so sorry. He's sorry. My bad, Pastor. My bad, First Lady. I thought I was talking to my wife. My bad. So then it was like, now they're trying to gaslight us, right? It was very much like, okay, let's go along with it. So then, Pastor, what's his name? Jeff was praying in the car looking for a sign from God because he trying to fix his marriage. He gonna drive up the mountain to fix his marriage or do what he got to do. Now Rashida in the house, she pissed because she feel like, okay, her husband playing in her face, he gay, whatever. So then Tiffany, I think, called Jeff, and because she can't get a hold of Rashida, and so then he told her what happened about him not opening the door for her. She tells him the story. She didn't want to tell, but Tiffany got loose lips. Tiffany gonna tell everybody tea. She don't care. Tiffany do not care. She tell everybody's business. Okay. Hey, Tasha Mac. Um, so then Tiffany told him a story about, they were in college. Rashida was a pastor's kid. I don't know what this had to do with the story, but anyway, they went down to the frat party. They didn't want Pastor to know, her daddy. And they went to the frat party. Her boyfriend at the time was like in the frat. Her and the boyfriend she really loved the boyfriend. They was in the room, doing what the people do in the room. And then he was leaving the room. He let his frat brothers come in and they locked the door and they took advantage of her, of course. And unfortunately, I should say. And the boyfriend would not open the door for her. So ever since then, she been traumatized for that. She don't want to ever be with somebody who won't open the door for her. And then Pastor Jeff was the first man that opened the door for her, and he always did. So then for him not to do that was like a trigger and traumatizing for her. So then Jeff's like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And so then he went upstairs to talk to Rashida, and he's apologized. Now, first I was buying it. I was like, now you won't be nice to Rashida, Jeff? Okay. So he goes up there and talks to her and says sorry and says, like, he started kind of saying stuff where, like, Rashida picking up on, like, okay, who did you talk to? Because the way he's talking is like he knew what happened to her, but he didn't really say it. And then she was like, okay, this is not Geneva, so you had to talk to Tiffany. And he's like, no, please don't say nothing to her. Like, I'm sorry. And then finally she kind of gave in him, but I think she still was a little like, mm-hmm. So then now, like, this particular episode, I don't remember what episode number it was. I kind of could have did episode by episode because I do recall it. It's just like remembering the order of things would have been too much. Anyway, so then Jeff was like, okay, I'm gonna go down to the church, but then he came back and said he wanted, Latoya Luckett, Rashida to ride with him down to work so they can go down to the church and work. Oh, side note, the first was 2 episodes. So this little girl, she's like 19. She tried to go to Rashida for counseling, right? And she said, she been doing some bad things. She got to talk about it, girl. I've been having sex with your husband here at the church up in his office, girl. Are you mad at me? I'm sorry. So she's like, no, I'm not mad. I'll tell you, Latoya Luckett is such a good actress. She is such a good actress. So I was like, oh, what's going on? So then Latoya Luckett is like, girl, let's go to the pastor's office. She's like, oh, I want to see Pastor. She's like, no, Pastor not here. You gonna be all right, girl. So then they went in the pastor's office. So then Rashida's like, okay, so what did you say you and my husband was doing? And she's like, oh, he was, making me do oral and da 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 da. But she didn't really want to talk about it. And then she made the story about she broke up with her boyfriend and she was talking to Pastor, and then one thing led to another. Like, he took advantage of her, but then they just kept doing it. And it was just like, girl, what? So then at first I was like, dang, this girl really come and say that. So then Rashida was like, now, when did you say, y'all will do all this? And where did you? She's like, so y'all will do it right here at the desk right here. She said, now what time? And she said, Thursday at the choir rehearsal. Choir rehearsal always on Thursday, okay? So then Rashida looked down at the calendar. She said, wait a minute, because Thursdays after choir rehearsal and Bible study and all that, Pastor is at home with the family, having dinner with his family. It said right here in his calendar. So then how was he down here with you having the relations? And so then she's like, I need to talk to the police. She's like, And then she was like, no, this is why I got cameras all up and through here. So she showed her the cameras. And she was like, so then Rashida went off on her, rightfully so, because she was like, we used to everybody coming here trying to run a scheme, trying to run an SA scheme and get paid from the church. Okay, they used to that. So that part was funny. That was like the very beginning of the episode. Of the series. So then let me get some more water, y'all. Excuse me. Anywho, so okay, so Jeff and Rashida, now they like turn over new leaf. Jeff is super nice to her. He want to ride with her down to the work, to the church, and it's like, he not gay. Okay, let's play along, right? So then he had went to the hospital to go check on Franklin's wife. Now Rashida had told him Franklin was never gonna give you the money, and he wasn't. So he went down over there. Franklin was like, you know what? I'm not about to give you the money, and then you wife is Rashida, so I got a problem with you, and I got a problem with Rashida because y'all friends with Naomi. And so he start cursing out his wife and going off on him. So Pastor Jeff had to, he had to lay down his religion a tad bit, and he went back off on him. Now I think he cursed a little bit, and he was quoting scriptures and everything. He didn't lay the Bible all the way down, but he finally stood up for Rashida, unlike he did before. So I was happy with that. So then he told Rashida, like, girl, don't go over Naomi's house because Franklin is threatening you. He threatening everybody. Like, Naomi can come down to our house, but don't go over there to Naomi's house. Now Naomi, she like to do, freaky things in the bed with this one dude. Everybody say he from All the Queen's Men. I don't really watch All the Queen's Men. And so she had him, well, he hacked into the social media thing so she could see the new wife's social media and Franklin's social media. And then now she wants that guy to like put a hit out on Franklin, right? So anyway, and then she called him over. And he's basically male escort to her. So anyway, they all go over Naomi's house to check on her, right? And so Naomi is just saying all this bad stuff about Bridget and Tiffany, and like she just, that friend that's hurt, so she gonna hurt everybody else. That's basically what Naomi be giving, and she's crazy. She's crazy. So, and she don't go to the church. Everybody else go to the church but her. So anywho, she was saying, "Oh yeah, Rashida, that's why Jeff is having an affair with Myron." And so they was like, "Girl, what?" Like, no. And so she got the Ring doorbell, so she put the whatever's on the camera up on the TV and played the audio and played it. And so Myron was on the phone with somebody saying like, "I know he loves me, but every time he comes into church with her, I don't like it, and I know he loved me, and he looking at me right now, and I don't want to he don't like it when he don't know who I'm talking to." So it's like, oh, he talked about Pastor Jeff, like, huh? But it's still like, okay, so at this point I'm like, it's even one-sided. Like Myron likes him, but we don't know if Jeff likes Myron back like that. And that's pretty much what it ended up being. So far on season 1. And I think that's pretty much what it is. Now that like the season wrapped up, I think that's pretty much what it is that Myron. So then we do find out. So then in this last episode, Rashida, so the girls, Rashida asked the girls, like, okay, did y'all believe that? And they was like, well, it's been rumored around town and down to the church because of the way Myron be, doing the most over Jeff. And so, excuse me. So, Rashida called Jeff and Myron down to into the house, right? Because they were standing outside letting the girls talk. And they were like, what's going on? So then I think they played the video. And so Pastor Jeff was like, who were you talking about? They kept asking him, who are you talking to on the phone? And in my head, I'm like, it don't matter who he's talking to, who is he talking about that is jealous, that he loves. And so he said he was talking to his wife. Then he said he's talking to a friend or something. And they're like, you talking to a guy, you talking to a girl, but it don't matter I was kind of irritated with that, like the writing on that, because it's like, who cares who he's talking to? We don't know who he's talking about. So Jeff, sorry, are you talking about me? So Myron really wasn't trying to come clean, and they kind of embarrassed him. I felt kind of bad for Myron, if I'm not gonna lie. I kind of felt bad for him. Like, yeah, he need to be honest, and like if he's really lusting after the pastor, like, okay, let's figure out how to work this out. But like, I don't know, I just didn't like the way, I kind of felt bad for him because he really felt like embarrassed and ashamed, and I just didn't like the way they did that. Like they was trying to like get your gotcha on him. Like, I don't like that. So anyway, they was like, okay, pastor and first lady, they about to ride back to the church, and then the girls had left their cars at the church. So they was like, Bridget, you can take Myron back. But Myron felt bad. He's like, I'll just give me a car, child. He wasn't trying to be riding with the people. So Myron sitting in the car crying, and Bridget saw him. She's like, "Come here, baby." She's like, "Are you really like the pastor like that?" And he kept saying no. And then he kind of did admit it a little bit. And she was like, "When you're ready to talk about it, come talk to me." And then he was gonna quit. And so she was like, "No, just come to work tomorrow. Like, just come on to work tomorrow." And he felt really bad. He's like, "What did First Lady say?" And she was like, "First Lady been watching you." Now in the car, Jeff and Rashida was talking about it, joking about it. And Rashida's like, "I've been told you, like." She have been watching Myron like a hawk. Nothing gets past Rashida. So she's like, I can't tell you. The way he look at you, he will look at you up and down. So he was like, I'm gonna have to let him go. But she was like, no, don't fire him, because she's like, that could, make a lawsuit. And that's the same thing I was thinking, like, no, don't fire him, because then he can, sue you for discrimination or whatever, wrongful termination. Y'all know all the terms. So anyway. Child, all this talking make you thirsty. And that's another thing. I talk all day at work, so then when I gotta talk on here, I be tired, child. Anyway, um, so yeah, Rashida said, just keep him on. We don't just be watching him. I said, just have Bridget and Myron switch positions and let Myron work with First Lady. He ain't gonna like it. Let Bridget work with Jefferson. So anyway, because Jefferson was sitting there, he's like, I'm not gay. When they was at Naomi's house, I'm not gay. I'm not bisexual. No. So I think Myron just has an unhealthy crush on um, Jefferson, right? It's one-sided. And then that in the very last episode, Myron did come to work the next day. And so Jeff was like, this is gonna be a problem. And he's like, oh, you still gonna let me work here? And he's like, yes. And so but First Lady gonna have to talk with you, like you better be ready for that. And so he was saying like so Myra said somebody at the church told him that pastor liked him like that. And so, but he wouldn't say who it was, but he didn't want them to lose their job. So somebody that works down to the church said that pastor liked Myron like that. And I was like, well, who over there being messy? But Myron, why are you going with that? And then Myron was not trying to admit that he had this crush. And then he told me he loved his wife, but apparently you don't. And then who was you talking to? So I think he said he was talking to a guy on the phone. So it might have been that guy who told him that pastor liked him. But somebody over there at the church being real messy. They being real messy. So anyway, Myron got to live another day and keep his job. But again, I don't like the way they try to embarrass him. So, and then I'm like, what was Jefferson doing that made you think that like this was gonna be okay? That was my other question. Like, was Pastor Jeff doing something that made you think like this could possibly work out for you? Like, what was going on? Anyway, moving on. Naomi, she did. Let me wrap up her story. So Naomi did go to the hospital and she bought some flowers. Now, their flowers looked horrible. And Franklin's in the room. He's like, what are you doing here? I'm gonna call security. And she was talking bad about the white girl being burnt to the crisp. You're gonna be touching that crispy girl. And she was saying like all this stuff like to him and all that. He was like, he would never, give her the satisfaction, because she's like, come on, hit me. She was doing all that. Naomi's unhinged. So before the nurse is trying to get her out of there, call security. He's like, this is the lady that did this to her. They're trying to get her out of there. Before she left, she threw them flowers on that lady back. Now, mind you, this lady got open sores because she been burned. And if you know about a burn, like the skin is gone just open. They just have to lay there. They can't move because it's just open sores because it's burned. So she threw the flowers on her. It was, oh my God. When she threw the flowers on her, lost it. I could not believe she did that. I mean, the hot coffee was one thing, but then to throw the flowers on the burnt back, like, damn. So anyway, that girl crazy. She trying to get the, I don't know the male escort name, child, but she trying to get him to do the hit and took him to the bank, show him the money, but she not trying to give him none of the money. So he was like, he ain't with that. Apparently he been in jail for 15 years and got a daughter, and she threatening him. They got a weird relationship. Anyway, irrelevant. So the main trifling story of this show, though, the main trifling story is Geneva, William, Javon, and throw in Tiffany. Okay, so Geneva, she a lawyer. She don't be picking up her daughter from school like that because she can't be bothered. And so William usually does the pickups. And they got a nanny named Sarah. So um Geneva, oh, the little girl. So Geneva and Tiffany had picked up Anika from school. They came home. This is like the first episode. And the little girl, Nika, was playing with the dolls, and she was like, oh, have on the Ken doll, tell the Barbie doll, they were black dolls, thank God. Saying like, oh, you a fine lady, or you hella fine, or something like that. And then they was like, oh, like Tiffany said, oh, that's what William be saying to you. And so Jenny was like, no, he don't. And so she's like, girl, you 5 years old. Like, where you get that from? And so she's like, that's what daddy be telling the lady at work, at that school. So she's like, girl, what? So Geneva spirals. Okay. So Geneva goes down to first she called the teacher to get the mom's info. It's Maddie's mom, the little girl in class named Maddie. Maddie's mom is the one that William said you so fine to. So Geneva just believes that William is cheating on her. But mind you, we haven't gotten any concrete proof that William is cheating on her, but that's what she wants to believe, right? So she calls the teacher to try to get Maddie's mom's info to set up a play date. But we're not gonna give you, I'm a teacher. Like, I'm not gonna give you nobody's number like that. Like, no. So absolutely not. Like, there's privacy rule, all kind of laws. No. So no one's gonna just give you somebody else's number like that. So anyway, then she go down to school acting like the daughter left something and get let in the classroom by the janitor. He fell for it. And she find the Maddie's mom's information, not the information, but finds out like where she works and all that. She works at a yoga studio or owns it or something. So then they're going to the gala. So Javon, he had came that same day, I guess, to Geneva's job. And he said he back in town. He divorced his wife. So it's kind of like, oh, you could tell they had something going on, but you don't really know. So then that night when they're going to the gala, he ends up coming with them to the gala because William invited him. So he's in their house, and she's like, oh, my God, he's here. She had talked to Rashida about it earlier in the day. Like, oh, my God, he was at my job. Now he's in her house. So then William had to go put the daughter up to bed. And what's his name? Javon's like, is she mine? Because the little girl, I think, was 5 or was going to turn 6 or something. And they were fooling around like 5 or 6 years ago. At the same time, when they were fooling around, Geneva was trying to do IVF because they couldn't get pregnant. And so, what's his name? Javon's like, I left my wife. You supposed to leave William. We supposed to, run off together and all this stuff. And Geneva's like, no, you can't. Like, no, I'm good with William now. Like, no. And she was like, yeah, we was going to name our daughter Anika. And I was like, oh, this is trifling. So basically, Geneva been cheating on William with Javon. And she named that baby Anika, which is the name she's going to name her baby with Javon. And the baby could possibly be Javon's because during the time of her going through IVF, she was having unprotected sex with Javon. Okay. Now, Javon is all up in her house. And William thinking Javon is his friend and everything's cool. And he's trying to figure out why Geneva got his attitude. She got his attitude because she's going through it right now. Now, mind you, they must be going on a trip to Italy, and Tiffany's supposed to watch Anika. And she ain't even happy to be going to Italy because she just stank attitude. She mad. She can't be with this man she really want to be with. And I think personally, just me, I think William know he's sharing that wife. He's sharing his wife with that man. The way William just willingly inviting Javon to do this and that, he invited him over to cook dinner for them in this last episode. I said, no, William know he's sharing that lady. He know he's sharing that lady. So anyway, now Geneva had went to, well, when Naomi got arrested, I guess Javon's a lawyer as well. And I think that's how Geneva and him met. And so Geneva and Javon had went to the jail to try to get Naomi out because he said he knows some people. Now Tiffany went as well because William said, oh, hey, Javon, let me hook you up with Tiffany. So at the gala, Tiffany and Javon are hitting it off and laughing and stuff. And Javon, he's doing all this stuff on purpose to make Rashida mad and jealous and squirm. So that's why Geneva. So Geneva had to go take a minute with Rashida during the gala, and she's telling Rashida, like, oh my God, what if the baby's his? Is it possible? And da-da-da. So Rashida knows all the tea. But they not trying to tell Tiffany, and they keep blowing Tiffany off. Now I don't like the way they're doing Tiffany, because that's like, don't have me over here looking stupid, because Tiffany basically about to look, she's looking stupid, not about to look stupid. She looks stupid because this man is basically giving her all this attention, love bombing her in order to make Geneva jealous and squirm, and that's it's working. And Geneva got a bad attitude. So they go to the jail. Tiffany and Javon, they laughing, talking, hitting it off. Tiffany, she getting real into it real quick, which I'm not mad at Tiffany. Like, yeah, girl, slow it down, get to know him. But at the same time, she finally got some new love in her life after everything she's been through. So she's excited to have a new man. When you finally got somebody like a good prospect that could work, you be excited. So that's where Tiffany's at. But then at the same time, Geneva's like, you don't really know him. You need to get to know him. And she's like, okay, tell me what I need to know. Like, girl, why you ain't introduced me to him? Like, what's going on? And then she was like, no, like, she was blowing her off. So, like, Geneva being so stank to Tiffany, and even Rashida not telling Tiffany, like, girl, what's up? And so Geneva wants William to be cheating on her so then she could feel okay about what she doing, what she trying to do with Javon. So Geneva went down to the yoga studio to get the girl's number. Now, if I was that lady, I would have been real suspicious of her. So she got Maddie's mom's number. She's like, does my husband already have your number? She's like, no. And so, because we also seen William give the lady some flowers or something. So it's like, we don't really know what William doing, right? So I don't think William cheating on that lady, but then part of me feel like maybe he is, because I feel like he know Geneva's cheating. So that's why he keep doing what he doing, having Javon intercede, right? He trying to basically give his wife away. So Geneva had left her phone there on purpose so she could record what the yoga lady was saying, what Maddie's mom was saying. And then she was out there smoking a cigarette. I was like, Geneva, girl, what is going on? So then I didn't hear it when I watched the episode, but everybody said Tyler Perry yelled action in that part, but I didn't hear it to see, but I looked it up on TikTok. Anyway, let's do better job editing. So then anyway, she went back and got her phone. Now she played a recording, but you can't tell who she was talking to. She's like, yeah, it's weird. This lady came in, but you can't tell that she's talking to William or not. So there's still no concrete evidence that William is cheating on her or whatever. So she went to talk to Rashida at the church because Rashida got a book deal, and she's the lawyer, so she got to look at the contracts or whatever. So then she was telling Rashida, like, everything's so boring, predictable. William, she liked the excitement of Javon. She liked everything he doing right now. Sex with him was so amazing. He got the biggest thing. Like, she wants all this crazy attention from Javon. And now Javon trying to buy a house next door to their house. And he's making Tiffany the realtor. Like, it's horrible. And then him and Tiffany supposed to be going on a date. Now she avoiding Tiffany like the plague, being so rude to her. And then him and Tiffany supposed to go on a date, and he suggests that they go to Italy with William and Geneva on this Italy trip. And she's like, nah, it's too soon. He's like, aren't you spontaneous and crazy? There's a way we can get to know each other. But she's like, I want to watch the baby. Child, I can't go. He's like, well, Rashida could do it, right? Like, we could really get to know each other. So first she's like, I don't know. And then he's like, and so she's like, she's going to call Geneva. And he's like, no. Let me call Javon first and get him to smooth it over. So then she finally went along with it. And I'm like, Tiffany, girl, wake up. You not seeing the red flags, girl. So she called Rashida about it. And she was like, girl, that's too soon. Don't do it. Take your time, reconsider. And I'm like, Rashida, put this lady on game, please. Put her on game. But she didn't. That's why they not good friends. And so then when Geneva got home after they left Naomi's house, and William's like, oh, guess what? I got a chef for you. And it's Javon cooking a damn, what was it, a flank steak, whatever kind of steak it was. I was like, now I'm thinking William hired a for real private chef, and it's Javon. Oh, so Geneva is like, damn, like Javon in my house again. So then, like Geneva, and then he's saying this stuff about how he gonna make the fire so hot and how you cook the flank steak and all that. And so, but like you can tell it's a metaphor for what he about to do to Geneva, because he about to move in next door. He about to make this lady sweat and squirm. He trying to go to Italy and everything. And so when they brought the Italy thing, she's like, well, no, because Tiffany's supposed to watch Anika. And so they was like, oh yeah, we talked to Rashida. Rashida could do it. So then he was like, we'll bring her with us. And me and Tiffany, we'll watch the baby. I was like, you are so trifling, Javon. Now Javon, I guess they said plays Carlton on Beyond the Gates. To me, he didn't look like that guy, but everybody says it is. I can't see, so it is. Anyway, so like I said, Javon, he got Geneva squirming. So they was all in the kitchen talking or whatever. And the little girl Nika's outside with the baby, with the nanny, Sarah, and you hear a loud scream. So they all run out there, and I guess the girl, Lanika, fell off the swing. And so they all rushed the little girl to the hospital, right? And Tiffany comes to Jean, was like, what you doing here, girl? So then she's like, oh, Javon called me. And she's like, would you call the other girls? And she's like, no. She's like, good, because we need family time. Like, this is about family. Like, you can leave. She's like, you can go. And she's like, girl, are you for real? Like, you crazy? And she was like, yes, Tiffany, you can go, girl. And she was like, oh, girl, like, I'm not leaving. And so then the doctor came because like Geneva's mad at Sarah. Like, you should have been watching her better. She a preemie. What her being a preemie got to do with anything? Like, and William was like, it's not your fault, Sarah. Like, kids, fall, they have accidents, it's fine. And that's my thing. Like, trust me, as a teacher, you see this all the time. Of course, parents are gonna be mad something happened to their child. But kids be doing stuff. Like, accidents happen. Kids do stuff. They don't know how to avoid danger a lot of times. So certain things, like, you can't, it's not your fault. Yeah, you watching the kid, but you can't prevent every little thing, It's one thing to be negligent, but it's not Sarah's fault the girl fell off the swing. Like, she didn't know she was going to do that. Now, unless she had her back turned or she was sleeping or was on her phone or something, I don't know. But so Geneva was on an attitude with Sarah. I didn't like that. William's like, it's not your fault. She's a kid. Accidents happen. And that's my thing. So then they was like, how's she doing? She needs a CT scan. Okay. So the doctor came out, right? This is the part that this is how the whole thing ended. Oh, Geneva went out bad. The doctor tried to help Geneva. Okay, so the doctor came out and was like, okay, so we gonna, she gonna need a blood transfusion. Now, mind you, I'm like, didn't the little girl fall off the swing? Like, how she need a blood transfusion? Was she bleeding out the head? I didn't see any blood. Maybe it was Tyler Perry land. Okay. Doctor said she needs a blood transfusion. Geneva, can you come with me? All Geneva had to do was go with the doctor. But so William's like, nah, let me do it because she don't like needles. And then she was like, I really need Geneva to come with me. So then, and when the doctor was saying that, I said, oh, doctor knows. And the way the doctor was looking at Geneva and telling Geneva was like, girl, I don't know who your baby daddy and what situation, and I'm not trying to expose you. Just come with me. That's what that was the look on the doctor's face. Okay. So then Geneva's like, well, why can't he do it? Like, this is her dad, I'm the mom. Like, why can't we do it? So then doctor still was not trying to go there, but Geneva don't listen. Oh, my air just kicked on, y'all. Anyway, hopefully y'all can still hear me well. So, and we about to wrap it up. So the doctor's like, okay, the little girl is type AB negative, whatever type of blood. And that's what Geneva is. So Geneva, I need you to come on with me. Like, she gave her 3 or 4 chances. So I was like, Geneva, please just go to the doctor, girl. She trying to spare you. She trying to spare you. So Geneva's like, I don't understand. Like, why can't he give her the blood? So then William's like, wait, I'm O negative. So, and she AB, how is that possible? I was like, oh my gosh. So then Geneva's face just looks cracked. So William's like, I'm a professor. Like, I know that's not possible. Like, what is you saying? And so then they was like, what is going on here? Can you tell me what's going on here? So the doctor, like, she was not trying to go there. Like, she was trying to be so respectful. She was trying to not spare Geneva tea. Like, she was trying to spare Geneva. She tried so hard to spare Geneva. I'm telling you, if I was Geneva the first time she said, come with me, I just would win. I would have just take a needle. Okay. If I didn't want my tea spread, I would have taken a needle, but no, Geneva got to be hard. Geneva got to be hard. So, so then, I can't remember if the doctor said like she's not yours or y'all not the same blood type, something like that. Like the doctor basically had to say like y'all not the same blood type. Like it's not gonna work. And that's where it ended. I was dead because it was like it's because the doctor just kept saying Geneva, come, do because the girl needed blood transfusion. Come so I can draw your blood. Like that's all you had to do. She tried to help her, but now Geneva's secret for to come out. So that's what we're gonna see when they pick back up. I don't know, I believe that was season finale, so I don't know when they coming back. But like I said, good show. Very good show. I'm not mad at it. Y'all let me know what y'all think of Tyler Perry's Divorced Sistas. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Thank y'all for still supporting me. I know I haven't been around, but I'm dabbling back into it. I will do Love and Marriage Huntsville, unfortunately. And I'm gonna do And Just Like That, unfortunately. And hopefully Ready to Love when they come back. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to y'all hopefully soon. Bye.